The following presentation is brought to you by kidThunder Productions. It's your buddy, kidThunder. And this time, this is the first time you have seen me on face. And this time I am going to do the Q&A. I did receive a few questions in handy so I can ask for this particular video. Pretty much I didn't get that many questions, but that's okay. I'll just answer the ones I have. And yes, with that said out the way, let's get it started. Okay, I got the first question from Wax Headroom. He asked me the question, what would I say that are a few of my favorite horror movies? Well, to tell you the truth, first off, I haven't really watched that many horror movies, to tell you the truth, but I've seen a few of them. I've seen said ones like Friday the 13th, Nightmare series. I even seen the Scream series. So, and along with that, I even seen the ones that would usually come on TV from time to time. Say like the Stephen King movies, which are pretty much the most memorable in my head. So, but come to think of it, like my favorite ones would pretty much be the Scream series. I mean, I like the Scream series. As a kid, I mean, when it first came out, I haven't had the opportunity of seeing it, but then again, nowadays I did see a few of the Scream movies, so there you have it. Along with that, like I even said earlier, I even like the Friday the 13th movies and the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So that's pretty much what I can say about what are my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, haven't seen them all, but I really would want to. Okay, the second question which comes to mind, and this is coming from Rob the Robot. He asked me this question: how did you come up with my name on YouTube, kidThunder, for my videos? Well, long story short, it started 3 years ago when I signed up for 8bitcollective.com, and even beforehand, when I first joined said websites like MySpace or other websites like Facebook or whatever, or even this one called oakremix.org, which is known for video game remixes and whatnot. Usually, as far as that YouTube name goes, pretty much it all started out when I was on internet forums such as those anyways. But I mean, that's pretty much how I got that whole name situated, and that's primarily it. So yeah, that's it. Okay, I got another question from Wax Headroom, and I'm using it as my third question on this particular Q&A. He asks, who do you think will win the NBA championship next year? And the question to that, the answer to that particular question is that Technically, I wouldn't know for sure because I don't really watch the NBA that much these days. I mean, ever since the NBA basically switched networks, I mean, I used to to be honest, I used to like the NBA when it was on the NBC. When it was on NBC for the most part, because as a kid growing up, I used to watch NBA on NBC when it comes to watching basketball on TV and whatnot. So, I mean, I personally can't say that, pretty much my favorite team of the NBA, which happens to be the Chicago Bulls, I personally can't say that they will be the next championship of the NBA. So other than that, it's hard to really comment on, and it's pretty much a very tough question to answer. So other than that, all I can say, time will tell on that particular situation. Okay, this fourth question is actually coming from Superior Man 3432, who is known as Jamie McAllister. In terms of, he goes by the Jamie McAllister Productions thing. And I've seen a lot of his stuff on YouTube, and he is really awesome. But his fourth question, this question is coming from Jamie McAllister. As a matter of fact, it's going to be more than four anyway, because he did ask me three questions. His first question to me was, where do I buy the old games? Commonly, you can buy old games and consoles from, say, like Amazon or eBay for the most part. And he did ask me what game systems do I have. So, without said and done, let's go ahead and check. Here are some of my game systems right here. Yeah, that's my Game Boy Advance over there, and then I got a Sega Genesis. That's my Sega Genesis. Please forgive the glare on the Genesis right there, because my video camera fucking sucks. Since I actually bought this at a Walgreens or CVS or some shit like that, but whatever. Yeah. The most current one that I have is a DS, and you can see my DS right there. It's closed right there. And under the Genesis would be my NES.
Super cool.
However,
here we go.
I do have other systems in mind. I have a Dreamcast. I even have a Nintendo 64, I have a Super Nintendo, I have a Game Gear, and I even have a PlayStation 2. Now my next console purchase, in terms of like older game systems, will probably be either the Sega Saturn or the Sega CD. Pretty much I could say that both of those consoles have good games on there. I am even trying to search for a TurboGrafx 16. Like, I never knew that particular console existed when I was a kid growing up. Along with that, even a Sega Master System. I didn't even know that particular game console existed during the days of the NES, because pretty much the NES, as far as we know it, was pretty much more memorable than the Sega Master System anyways. But yeah, you can buy old game consoles from either Amazon, eBay. You can also buy them from, if there's a play and trade in your city or town, you can also buy older games and systems from there. They even have the Family clones, which, you know, plays like old school NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis games. But they're okay, but I mean, they don't hold that particular quality compared to an actual game console, like an actual NES or an actual Super Nintendo. But that's primarily it right there. Okay, this next question is coming from Snakebite2468, and he asked me this particular question: what game do you think you felt the most satisfied after beating? Well, to be honest with you on that, there's been a few games that I pretty much felt that was most satisfying. In fact, plenty of games from the 8-bit and 16-bit era, so to speak. So the ones that I felt satisfying the most would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist for the Sega Genesis. Be looking out for a review on that in a few weeks. Along with that, I mean, I even had, you know, much satisfaction after beating Streets of Rage 2 on the Genesis, in which I've beat that game plenty of times, and I still cannot stop playing it to this day. You know, in fact, that's pretty much my favorite game on the Sega Genesis, and I mean, that's probably why I say I felt the most satisfied after beating. So there you have it. Okay, the next question, and this question is coming from Team NES1. He asked me this question: what would have to be my all-time favorite game that I've reviewed so far? Well, to be honest, one of my favorite games, there are a few of my favorite games that I reviewed so far. Yeah, I did happen to review NBA Jam for the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis last year, because I love that game from back in the day. And you know, I even reviewed, even this past few months, I happened to review said games like Burai Fighter and Zexis for the NES. So there are a few. I mean, just to name just a few right there. Yeah, that's primarily it. Alright, this next question is going to be asked, this is also from Waxhead Room. He asked, what is the most underrated game for the NES, Super NES, and Genesis? As far as the most underrated one for the Super NES, to be honest, well, there are a lot of underrated Super NES games, so to speak, on that particular system anyway. As far as the NES, I know it had to be Metal Storm for the NES, in which I don't have that particular copy, sadly. And as far as the Genesis, I know there are some underrated ones, you know, sad ones like Midnight Resistance and whatnot. But I'll tell you which ones are indeed underrated in my book, and pretty much in my opinion. The Valis Phantasm Soldier series. I currently happen to own Valis 3 and Super Valis 3 for the Genesis, and Super Valis 4 for the Super NES. And that's all I have to say for that one. So that's pretty much it right now. I have to wrap this up, so this video is going to have to be in 2 parts due to YouTube's 15-minute time limit.